Oh,
Man, I was actually, I was happy for, no. It got good in the fourth because it closed the gap. But we was up for the most part 9, 10, 11. We kind of bounced it back and forth, volleyed it back and forth. Then when it got tight and in the end, I'm like, okay, and then, our little group text or whatever, I'll let you know that we took care of business.
It's growth for you that you're not texting during the games anymore.
The growth. You grow a little bit.
You love to do that.
But in the end...
Did LeBron bail Luka out, though?
That's what teammates supposed to do. If one is having a bad game, like LeBron was early on, obviously, with his shooting, you step up when the time is needed. I mean, that's just what it is. I guess we could call it a bailout, but that's what he was supposed to do. Just stand there and look. I mean, like he did his job. That's what he's supposed to do. Because 0 for 6 through 3 quarters just wasn't, for whatever reason, Rick, it wasn't his shooting night. It just wasn't his night.
Yeah.
Now, Luka shot the ball.
About LeBron, right?
LeBron.
Right.
Just wasn't his night.
He looked tired.
And that may be the case. You got, Paul, from playing, when you're coming back off injury, no matter what you did when you were injured, you wasn't doing basketball acclimated things, a full court press up and down. Right. You riding a bike, you might get some shots up, things of that nature. So I can see where he was tired a little bit. But, hey, we going to accept it. So much for that fast pace, Rick, that pace play that the Pacers had in store. And I told you we was going to steal one, and we stole this one.
You certainly did. And
I mean, it's not really a steal. Y'all was up the whole game. It shouldn't even came down to that.
You told me yesterday, along with your sidekick, Rick, that we was getting ready to get boat raced.
Based on the way they was playing, it looked like.
But that's what y'all said.
Right.
We was going to get boat raced.
Well, did LeBron bail Luka out?
No, I used boat race. You didn't say. You said we was going to get run out of the building, though.
Yeah.
LeBron bailed out LeBron.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Because if they don't win the game, we talking about what's up with LeBron. Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about he got 13 points, 0 for 6 through 3. That's what we would be talking about today. Like, was LeBron tired? Is something wrong with his hamstring? Is his groin? Is something wrong? He bailed out himself, truthfully. Luka was having a game. And the Lakers, it should never came to this, but, Bron saved everybody from talking about does he need more rest? Is he still injured? So the way I look at it is Bron bailed out himself, in a much-needed win because all these games it's going to come down to these seedings for the Lakers. And they want to get home court advantage for the most part, at least for the first round.
Sure.
And so this was a game they must need because going into a back-to-back situation, you want to at least get that front end of a back-to-back, especially versus a team that just blew you out at home. And you're going into their place, and this is a young team on a back-to-back who like to get up and down in Chicago. Time change. Oh man, I'm just picturing myself in this situation. This was brutal for me thinking about it. So this was a much-needed win.
LeBron bailed out Luka. He bailed out J.J. Redick because they didn't call a timeout after the desperation shot by Ben Mathurin. Across the board, bailed out all the conversation that we would have about the losses continue, and now they're looking at the Chicago again, all of that. But the Indiana Pacers also bailed out the Lakers in terms of how they handled this last 35 seconds. Because after Dorian Finney-Smith misses the layup or gets it blocked, there's 35 seconds left. The Pacers are up by 1. They don't have Ty Halliburton on the floor, their point guard. He's at the scorer's table waiting to check in. They could have called timeout.
Yeah.
Could have set something up, could have got Ty in. So you come down the floor, Andrew Nembhard's at top, you move the ball a couple of times, you still got nothing, right? You can still call timeout and get Ty Halliburton out there and get a quality shot. Yeah. Didn't do any of that, so now Mathurin's is taking this desperation 3, rebound, goes the other way. Pacers have a foul to give. Like, you can foul, and LeBron catches it in the corner with his back to the basket. 5 seconds, perfect time to foul him. There's no way he can get into a shooting motion. You don't foul him. He throws it to the top to Luka Doncic. Another opportunity on the catch, foul him. Now they have to inbound it with 3 seconds left. You don't foul him. And then Luka drives, and Aaron Nesmith comes up to challenge, and Jarris Walker doesn't slide to box out LeBron. He doesn't go for the rebound. He doesn't do anything. He's just standing there watching the show. Yeah. So, half a dozen things the Pacers could have done to make this infinitely harder, they did not do. And it's one of the reasons why I just, I'm not all that on the Pacers in terms of what they can do, because they have moments like that.
In sports, a lot of times I say, even in football, basketball, baseball, the opponent could stress you to the point where you make mistakes. And that's what the Lakers did. They got there, even though they up by 1, they got the timeouts, and Rick Carlisle, he likes to take his timeouts home. I mean, he just does. I don't know what he does this all the time where he's just going to take them home. I ain't going to use it. He did it last year in the postseason. It's just something that he does. But you put that stress on the team.
That he does now.
Yeah,
that wasn't the way he was. I don't know.
Well, now I'm just with the Pacers. But you put that stress on the opponent to do, I don't want to call it dumb things, but things that seem routine.
Right.
By the way you play. You make people make mistakes.
I mean, I think he bailed Luka out, but that's what teammates are supposed to do.
Yeah, he's supposed
To your point, what's he supposed to do? He's just supposed to let
stand there and go.
Oh, well, I guess that's the end of the game. I could jump and tip this in, but instead I'm going to just let us lose. That's what the team is for. I mean, this isn't an indictment of Luka either. We know what Luka is. This isn't a player we're trying to figure out if he's good or not, or if he's clutch or not, or if he's capable of making big shots or not. That's what's supposed to happen. You're going to seal this game. However it went, they got the dub, and at this point in the season, that's what you're supposed to do. And to Paul's point, forget the tough road trip. Now you have a back-to-back against a team that just put up 146 on you. You got to get this win no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter if it was pretty or if it was Luka bailing out or LeBron bailing out or the Pacers made a bunch. It doesn't matter. It's done and it's history now. And however you got to the ends with the W is how it needed to go.
That's a 20-minute flight.
They probably do they drive? Oh,
No, they probably get on a plane. That's
It's still travel with a back-to-back game.
Yeah, but that's up and down.
So you're feeling good about tonight?
By the time you get them little peanuts in your mouth, you already landing.
You feel good about it then?
Yeah, I feel good, because I don't think they're going to allow the Bulls to do what they did to us on our home court. I just don't see that happening.
Well, how important was that Lakers win?
It was very important, to Paul's point. We want to get the front end, number one, and we want to get to at least 2-2 on this road swing. I mean, we obviously got Memphis still coming. We can get to 3-1 on it, but let's just take one game at a time. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where all of a sudden you start to feel the pressure applied to you by the teams underneath you because you're dropping games in a tough schedule ahead. You come home, you got the Rockets, you got a Golden State team that's trying to stay pat. Okay, you got the OKC Thunder twice back again on the road to them twice in back-to-backs because they trying to look across the Eastern Conference for that home court battle back and forward. No, it's right here.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at the schedule.
Just looking at I'm looking at the minutes.
So when you start to think about it, you got Houston again. Yeah, you don't have too many opportunities to screw things up.
They don't have a lot of room for error.
Not a lot of room for error.
Yeah. No, I'm just flip it the other way. Let's say they don't get the tip in, right? Let's say that's an L, right? Last night. You played both Luka and LeBron 38 minutes. And now you're looking down the barrel of playing the Chicago Bulls on their home floor that just ran you hard.
They're fine.
Now you go into this with a completely different mindset. Like now you're thinking, maybe we'd steal another one. And Austin Reeves plays much better than he did last night. He's got than he has. I thought he was better at both ends of the floor than he had
36 minutes too.
Yeah. So from a confidence standpoint, you end the losing streak. You played a young team that does get up and down and likes to run, and you were able to hold them off. I don't know that it makes a difference, but psychologically going into this game, you have to feel a lot better about yourself if you're the Lakers.
How important was this one?
I mean, every game is important at this point. You know, they got, 8 games left? What's it looking like?
10
games left? Yeah, every game is important. You don't want to, like right now, you play Memphis, you at home. You lose, you go to Memphis.
They got 8 of the 10 as playoff teams.
And then you don't want to put yourself in a situation to where you drop down to 6 and got to see the Nuggets. I like this 4 spot for the Lakers in the first round, actually. Even maybe the 3 spot.
If we stay at 4, who would the Nuggets get?
The Nuggets would get the Clippers. See, if I'm the Lakers, I'm cool with playing a younger team like the Grizzlies. I'm not sure if the Lakers want to play like the Clippers in the first round, a veteran team. Kawhi's looking healthy.
I smile for that because
I don't know if they want to play or the Golden State Warriors. You want to put they want to put themselves in a position. So win as many as you can, and then you get down to the last games where you can start jockeying for position. Because I remember we used to do that. Like, who's a more favorable matchup for us? Is it Golden State Clippers or, we might want the Grizzlies. So this is important in every game.
You would play with the basketball guys like that?
Yeah, we would just sit. Like, all right, we're going to sit. We okay with giving a game. So we did that one year so we could see Cleveland in the second round. We want to go that route in 2010 that got us back to the finals because we knew that LeBron couldn't beat us by itself. So we didn't want to play Orlando until the conference finals. So we kind of played our cards down the stretch.
I'm curious about the flip side of this. When you lose a game at home to Chicago, you probably are thinking we're supposed to win that game for where they are and where you are, right?
Yes, we were thinking that.
Okay. Do you feel like, we got to make that up, or we put ourselves behind the eight ball because that was one we lost that we didn't expect to? So now we got to go get one that maybe we
This
didn't
is
think we
actually,
could
to tell you the truth, Rick, I'm looking at it like this game coming up at Chicago. Man, I'm not sure. I might sit LeBron this game. Truthfully, I don't know. We played all these minutes last night, and I'll go all in for Memphis until we go back home. Because this will be, once you get to Memphis, it's going to be the third game in 4 nights. So it's some decisions that's going to be made for tonight's game. I'm telling you, maybe sit one of the two.
Yeah.
And then
I hear that.
So.
Do you think that the Lakers have fixed their issues, Rick?
Some, but not all. And so offensively, they look much better. The ball wasn't sticking in Luka's hands last night. Everybody was getting involved, and so they were flying around. But, Indiana got to the cup anytime that they wanted to. There is no rim protection on the inside, and the dribble penetration is still a serious issue. And for everything that Luka might have done offensively and all that, man, they sized him up and went by him like nothing. And that's a problem. And you add LeBron looking tired and not being able to be a factor at the defensive end, that still remains an issue. And whether they can gather themselves before we get to the postseason, that's going to be the question.
It's fixable.
But it's not fixed.
Pacers shot 50%.
It's not fixed to the level that you want it to be right now. But we're trying to get it fixed by playoff time. We want to look like we looked when Luka first came aboard for those 11 games or whatever it was before we saw Boston and LeBron got hurt. That's what we want to look like. And you got enough time, in my eyes, to get there. You got enough time to get there because you got all the regular season. Then you got whoever is in the little playoff game, play-in games, because we ain't going to be in the play-in. So you got that. So you got enough time to prepare. And you get rest. You get rest at that point in time, too. You do, Rick. You get rest.
Do you think that they fixed their issues, Paul?
It's concerning to me because, a couple weeks ago, we was like, the Lakers can be a contender. It's concerning because you don't want to start displaying bad habits coming down the stretch, going into the playoffs. This is where you want to wrap up this is where you want to be playing your best, like you see the Celtics doing, like you see OKC doing in Cleveland. These are the contenders I'm talking about. And if we talking about the Lakers being a contender, this is the point of the season you want to start playing your best ball. And now they're reverting back to some of the things we saw last season and earlier in the season to some games they play defense, some days it's there, some days it's not. So it's a little concerning, but I understand LeBron was hurt. He's out for 2 weeks. He's a major key to what they do, both sides of the ball. So maybe once he gets his legs under him, they'll look a whole lot different.
I just feel like they need to tie a few consistent games together. They just don't look like they have the flow yet. They don't have their identity yet. Yes, they did have that jolt when Luka first got there, but we may just accredit that to the excitement and, something that they tapped into. Now they're really trying to put something together down the stretch to the playoffs. So to me, they have to put a few games together where they win, where they look smooth, where it looks like everything is flowing, and then they're in the mode that they're going to look like when they get into the postseason.
This was like a bad win, kind of.
Yeah.
Because they were up. I thought they would put them away. It shouldn't have had to come down to
After that second quarter.
Yeah. It was like, all right, they won, but this is the type of game, if I was in, I'd be in the locker room I wouldn't be hardly smiling because of the way we won. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, man, we had them on their back and we didn't put them away.
Let them back in.
Yeah, you let them back in.
Yeah.
As long as they can,
But a win is a win, and they'll take it.
as long as they can get one of these next two, Bulls versus or Memphis, getting home in the next three against Houston, Golden State, New Orleans.
Well, that's the
where you.
gauntlet.
But it is.
That's
But
the
that's where you
gauntlet.
at home.
Yeah.
You cannot allow them to come in and do what the Bulls did to you on your own home court. You got to hold serve.
No.
Yeah, that stretch will be, I think, really where the test
That's the
lies.
test right there.
Yeah, because this is a rough road trip, so everyone's kind of giving a little bit of grace here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really shouldn't be, but they're not in the position yet where they're falling into the little play-in games.
Well, and
How you said that.
in the
The little play-in games.
Yeah, little
We in
play-in.
these little play-in games. But as long as they stay out of that and during that stretch at home they look good, we'll start to feel more optimistic about them. Over to Paul's Celtics. Jason Tatum was out with an ankle sprain last night. Didn't matter. Boston beat down the Suns. Porzingis led the team with his second 30-point game of the season while the team cruised to their seventh straight win. 132-102 blowouts over the Suns.
Well, he's looking right now. Porzingis is looking like the unicorn they brought him over to
Yep.
be.
Yep.
Well, despite their depth, Boston is still second behind the Thunder in championship odds. So, Paul, did the Celtics prove that they should be finals favorites?
I honestly don't know why they're not finals favorites, Joy, because, I mean, we've seen this time and time again. The Celtics haven't played with their complete roster for only so many games. But we understand, you see what they can do without their best player on the court against a Phoenix Sun team who have been playing better basketball of late. And so I don't think this game proved it. I think everybody in the league knows it. You know, these are the defending champs, and you got to knock off the defending champs. Yeah, I know what OKC has been doing. It's been incredible. Shea is probably going to win the MVP. They're probably going to have the best record in all of basketball, and I know, yes, they are the favorite right now. But in a 7-game series, I'm not sure if there's anybody confident that OKC can beat the Celtics 4 times. A healthy roster. So, and beating the Phoenix Suns, you know, it just shored up what I always thought about the Celtics. They're the deepest team in the league.
I mean, they probably should be the favorites. I think we consider the West maybe tougher, and obviously OKC is a significantly better record at this point in the season. They've been more consistent. The Celtics have been banged up, so it makes sense.
Right.
But the Suns, while they've been playing better of late, are a struggling team. You don't want to overreact too much to this. But they're so deep and experienced, and now they have the confidence. For years, we're like, well, they haven't gotten it done yet. So maybe they're good. Maybe it's their year. Well, it was their year last year. So to me, that makes a huge difference when you're talking about getting into the postseason where everything changes. It's a whole new season. The experience matters so much. And when you already know what it takes to win it, which the Celtics do, that's the only thing that makes me shaky about the Thunder, but they're a young team. They're proven in the postseason the way that the Celtics are. So to me, that's why the Celtics should be the favorite.
You know, they're the favorite in my eyes right now, but OKC is the favorite on paper, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you got the MVP, they got the best record. So it's almost like, how could we not make them the favorite right now when you got a banged up, not necessarily banged up, but they've been in and out of the lineup, the Celtics. They just kind of they haven't been at full strength the entire season. So you look at that, and the odds makers are probably saying to themselves, oh, okay, this is what it means. But when you get to the postseason, everybody starts off the same. Zip, zip. That experience is going to kick in. And I don't even know if OKC is the favorite coming out of the West. I'm sorry. I
I
just
have a
don't.
feeling we're going to get to that.
I just don't know that that's the
Good team
case.
there, Rick.
Yeah. Well, no, Boston hasn't been the team to beat for me. I really haven't had a team to beat. I feel like it's been wide open, largely because I believe everything hinges on Kristaps Porzingis. He has to be there, and he has to be a factor. And he didn't play the first 17 games, and then he came back, and he was kind of in and out of the lineup, and he'd have some good games and not some good games. And then he had this viral thing that was a mystery, and they didn't know if they were going to get to the bottom of it. And if you take Kristaps Porzingis out of the equation, then I think it is wide open. But if you're giving me not only Kristaps Porzingis, but you're giving me this Kristaps Porzingis, then they are without question the team to beat. In fact, I can't name another team. If you're going to get this Kristaps and you're at full force, I don't see a team that's capable of beating.
What game was that he went nuts in last year in the playoffs?
It was He went game one,
one,
game
the
two.
finals.
Game one was huge, but
Yeah, like
they
10 in a
won.
quarter.
Yeah. He played, what, 3 games? They won all 3.
But he went
They went
nuts in one
in
of
the
them,
2
though.
games.
Yeah,
It was
game
the first
one.
one.
It was the
Was it
first
game
game.
one?
He had like
Yep.
10 points, came out like probably the start of the first or second quarter.
Came in midway through the first, I think.
Yeah. Came in midway, had like 10 points straight and just sparked them. Right
That
off
turned,
the
that
bat.
turned the series right there.
So if
Dallas
they
was
can
on the
get
back
him,
foot.
they can get him to do that in the postseason again.
Forget it.
They I hate to say it, they'll get 19.
Oh.
But they got to see the Lakers, so they may not.
Man, Lakers out here hanging on by the hairs of their chinny chin chin.
Until the postseason. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.